goes counter to clockwise. I'll be a passenger to the strife and it's many out there just like me. How many walk on self-acceptance like me? I feel like I'm getting too comfortable, man. I'm getting too comfortable. Like my last 10 reviews have all just been like normal ass reviews. Like I need to like push myself a bit. You feel? I need to go the extra mile. I almost feel like I need to return to my roots. If you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying, right? I caught this discussion like 5 minutes ago. It was like, it came from like 3 days ago. I just now caught it. I hear you guys, don't worry. Shout out to David Rose, well, he just hit 1K. Shout out to my boy. Give it a round of applause, my boy. David Rose, congratulations. Absolutely love that man's videos. And I'm very happy he hit 1K. Well deserved. He should have got that. He should have got that months ago. Fucking hell. But hey, whatever. We're here to talk about Steve Lacy's new record, Apollo 21. Steve Lacy's name has ended up, I think, carrying quite a bit of weight after the numerous fantastic bass lines he has provided to many internet songs. He is a member of that band, The Internet. He's the bassist, and I think they've always had really good bass lines. I think Steve Lacy is a pretty pivotal contributing factor to the appeal of The Internet. He's a very young guy, and he's appeared on many popular releases over the last few years, like Flower Boy and Kendrick Lamar's Damn on the song Pride. So when it comes out that Steve Lacy is going to appear on a new album by whoever the fuck is releasing an album, that can cause a lot of people to turn their head like, oh shit, Steve Lacy's on it? I like me some Steve Lacy. The only major notable thing he's had under his name, like in regards to a project to my knowledge, is the Steve Lacy's demo EP thing, which I think is okay. I'm not really huge on it. He's definitely got a nice knack for chords. His singing isn't the best though. There is sort of like a DIY lo-fi kind of charm to his sound. But I was curious to see how a full-length release from the guy would pan out, and here we are. Apollo 21 is the debut album from Steve Lacy. And I think this album just suffers a little bit from just being a tad bit too bad. It's just slightly too not good, you know? I think your enjoyment of this project may depend on how attentive of a listener you are, really, because I didn't really find much to take home with these lyrics, with these arrangements. These instrumentals were a nice mood, but nothing really beyond that. So I think if you enjoy your music passively, if you just like having songs on, and you're not out here like trying to decipher what songs mean or like pay attention to all the different layers happening and the mixing and stuff like that, if you're just more just like you're a passive listener, you're just like enjoying some nice pleasant songs, this album will probably on numerous occasions have you go, ooh, this is really nice. It definitely did that for me on a couple tracks. You know, I think the song Lay Me Down has some lovely chords on it. The closing track, the second half, the Forever portion, those chords are fucking awesome. There are a couple genuinely really catchy grooves though. The song Basement Jack is pretty hard to deny. You know, it's quite a peppy, fun track. I think Steve Lacy's performance is really energetic and exciting too, because he's not really the best singer in the world. I think a lot of his singing on here is quite bad, and on this track he's not really trying to do much with his voice. He's just kind of having fun with it. I think it works out a lot better. The hook on this thing is just really fun. But one of my biggest issues with this project is, as a whole project, it falls completely flat due to a horrible track-to-track flow. The second track on this album is the most confusing decision in the world to me. Because on one side of things, it's my favorite song, the song Like Me, the first 4 minutes of the track. It's 9 minutes long. It's a 9-minute long track, but it's not like one huge track. It's like 3 tracks in one, and the actual like main song, which is the first part of the track, the first 4 or 5 minutes, is to me the best track here. I think that instrumental is insanely infectious. I think the hook is an absolute earworm. I think the lyrics are really endearing, basically talking about how he had to come out as bisexual and how much of a struggle that was for him, and basically just saying how many out there are like me, just sort of inviting those who have dealt with similar things to sort of like embrace the fact that they're not alone. I find it really nice. I think there's a lot of charm there, and the feature from Daisy is beautiful. Holy shit! I do find generally Steve Lacy's mixing to be a bit clunky in some areas, but here it doesn't really bother me at all. I just think all around this track is solid. But then, right, once this first phase of the song is done, there's like an awkward pause, and then another thing starts playing, which then eventually just kind of fizzles out, and then there's another even longer awkward pause, and then the final part plays, and I could have done completely without those other 2 phases, or if you were going to include them, why not make them their own track? Because just having these weird pauses in the middle of the full song, separating these phases of the song, totally disrupts the album's flow. And then get this, right? When the track actually does finish and lead into the next track, Playground, that transition is awful anyway, so it's like, what the fuck was the point? It's just so fucking confusing. The song Playground that comes after this track, I don't really care for Steve Lacy's vocals. He's kind of going into his upper, higher pitched register, and I just don't really think he can quite reach it. The reverb on his voice is a little bit distracting too. The kind of jangly guitar is slightly cheesy to me as well, and this track does not lead in nicely at all to the song Basement Track. I think, again, the flow there is just super off. The song Guide isn't too bad. I like the kind of fricative drum pan here, and the lyrics about just sort of like offering a guide to help you get over a relationship, I think is kind of funny and cute. And the hook as well, the little like, ooh. It's pleasant enough, but it also adds to another problem I have with this album, in that so many of the ideas and songs on display here are really not that well developed remotely. In Love We Trust, another key example of that. The 1 minute 40-second long opening track too, again, doesn't really set much of a tone. He says, like, if I could go into the past, I think I would tell my past self that everything is going to be fine, which you gotta think this through, Steve. If you were to go to your past self and reassure them of any of their worries that everything's going to be okay, there's a good chance that in doing that you're going to make everything not okay, because you're completely alleviating the worry that you then had at that time that things were not going to be okay, which is probably what motivated you to make things okay for yourself. So if you then tell your past self, hey, everything will be fine, they're going to just, they'll relax. They'll be like, oh cool, everything's going to be fine. My future self just told me everything's fine, so I haven't even got to worry. It's all good. And then once you've had that reaction, then you're no longer worried. And then maybe in doing that, you're preventing yourself from making things like Lay Me Down has numerous lyrics about getting his dick sucked. I don't really want to hear it. To be fair though, the instrumental on this track is the chords are nice. The chords are nice, man. The song Inside is just awful, honestly. I really can't get into that track. That was the lead single too. I think he's talking about having sex with a girl and asking if it's inside, like his dick. What? At no point did I ever think, hearing these songs, I was like, wow, man, he's such a solid songwriter. Like, yeah, if you're looking for lyrics, I don't really think Steve Lacy is too talented in that department from what I have heard of his music so far. Maybe he'll step his songwriting up like crazy on the next one. I don't fucking know. But yeah, I wasn't really feeling the lyrics here. The song Love Too Fast is about rushing into a relationship too quickly, and I just don't really feel like Steve Lacy is offering any insight into that idea. The interlude from Amandla. This track is basically 3 minutes of Amandla playing violin, and I think it's actually pretty pleasant. It's just a nice little violin interlude. It's pretty harmless, I guess. Out of place, maybe. Contributing to the grander whole of this album, not really. But for what it is, it doesn't sound bad. I'm really kind of reaching for positives on this thing. The final track, the outro bit, the outro freestyle, is annoying as fuck. The beat just sounds horrible, and the effect on his voice, why would you ever think to put that effect on your voice in any context? It sounds shit. And the part where he's like, outro, outro, out, outro, 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 out, like fucking dude. A lot of these songs sound like they were made in a very spontaneous and short window of time. Like he just came up with a little fun idea and he was like, I'm gonna do it. And then he didn't really think much further beyond that. This thing is messy, it's got a horrible flow. There are a few moments that did make me go, oh, this is kind of pleasant, but that is not enough for me to say I think this is worth your time. I'm gonna go with a 4. I think Steve Lacy is a talented individual. I think he has definitely got potential, and I do like his contributions to artists like the internet and the projects he's appeared on in the past, in recent years and all that. But yeah, this one, man, I just don't think I think it's a very shoddy debut album personally. So yeah, let me know what you think of the album in the comments. I will see you on the next video. Bye.